Nazia. I'm glad to see that you've sent us another set of essays. I understand that it's been difficult to prepare for IELTS with everything going on, but I'm glad to see that you're back at it. So let's take a look and see what you wrote for us today. It's a difficult topic. Democracy is under its biggest threat since its inception. Let's see what you wrote. It is often debated that democracy had been in its biggest risk since the time it has taken into place, whereas many people believe that voters have lost control on the government due to its global investments. I strongly believe with the above opinion and the below essay will support my views with valuable reasons and examples from day-to-day life. Okay, so the problem that I'm finding here is with some of the grammar. It's incorrect and it creates some incoherence. So some of this is not really easy to understand because of the grammatical errors. So let's try to fix them. It is often debated that democracy has seen its biggest threat, or democracy is under its biggest threat, but I wouldn't really like that because that's exactly what's here. Okay? Let's see, how else could you have said it? Why don't we try it like this? It is often debated that democracy has been at risk. What does this say here? Since the time this is the part I didn't understand. It is often debated that democracy is at risk. At its greatest risk since it was developed or since it was created. Okay. Whereas is fine. Many people believe that voters, I don't know why, the whereas doesn't really fit here. Let's try that again. So, since is what you're really trying to say here. Many people believe that voters have lost control of the government due to its global investments. Okay, that works a little better. A little better. I strongly agree with the above opinion, and the below essay will support my views with valuable reasons and examples from day-to-day life. Fine. Let's move on. To begin with, democracy has created a positive impact on all developed ED and developing nations by giving their citizens liberty to elect their leaders based on the campaign and policies presented by them. Furthermore, it had brought equality and transparency in the society. For example, the world's second most populated country, India, had opted for democracy 80 years ago, which was one of the strongest decisions taken by the Indians. I don't know what that means, a strongest decision. Maybe one of the most important decisions, better than strongest. Initially, it was transparent and working well for the entire nation, but gradually it lost its purpose due to the capital investments in foreign markets rather than the local markets. Okay, so the thing about this paragraph is that it sounds like you have some understanding and some knowledge about this, but you're not really developing what you're supposed to be developing. In other words, it's not really structured appropriately to answer the question. It really kind of reads more like a history of democracy in India rather than a paragraph that is supporting one view or some sort of argument here. So let's start by looking at the central idea of this paragraph. First of all, you said that you agree that democracy is under threat, okay? And then here you're basically telling us that this exact situation has happened in India, okay? So what you need to do here is start with that, okay? So, rather than talking about this positive impact and electing their leader, you need to start with this, okay? So you could have said something more like, to begin with, while democracy starts out in many countries with very lofty ideals and positivity. Many times greed and hunger for power leads leaders to become corrupt. Take, for example, India, which, ABCDE. Now, however, it is clear that many of the country's leaders are, I don't know, doing terrible things with the country's money. Just develop it the way you want, okay? But this is the way you need to do it, all right? So getting to the point rather than kind of going about how wonderful democracy was in the beginning and then how now, capital investments in foreign markets are creating a problem. So you have to remember the way the template is suggesting to organize your arguments. All right, let's move on. Furthermore, since then these universal investments began. Okay. Furthermore, since then these universal investments began. All right, I'm confused here by your grammar. Let me try it one more time. Forgive me. Furthermore, since these universal investments began, they have been giving wrong and uncalculated hope to citizens. Due to this, people are losing control and not cooperating with the governing bodies. As a result, entire countries lacking behind from the overall development. For instance, Indian Premier League, one of the most famous and successful tournament in the sports world, is organizing yearly game in different countries instead of conducting in India, due to which cricket's fans and viewers visiting other places to watch it and driving the profit to those countries. Okay, so there are a couple of things happening here. I understand now that this is supposed to be more or less a continuation of the previous paragraph. You're using India as your case here, and that's fine. But I don't really think this is on topic, okay? Number one. Number two, the grammar has a lot of problems. You had these really long sentences. There are no articles in lots of places. So the grammar made it difficult. I mean, I could try now to rewrite this and to kind of explain to you how it should be grammatically correct. But there was a lot, okay? Let's take a look at this last sentence. The Indian Premier League, one of the most famous and successful tournaments in the sports world, organizes a yearly game in different countries instead of conducting it in India. Full stop. As a result, cricket fans and viewers visit other places to watch it, and this drives the profit to those countries. But this isn't on topic, Nazia. This isn't what we're talking about. Okay, we're talking about democracy. We're talking about global markets. So, in other words, are our leaders more concerned with global markets and global investments? And are these big multinational companies, do they have a bigger say in our governments than the actual people, the citizens of the country do? This is what we're supposed to be talking about. So this to me is really off topic. Okay. The other thing that I want to point out to you is that this entire paragraph is 2 sentences long. You see, you had this sentence and then this whole thing here is another sentence, which is just, it's not appropriate. Okay, it's not appropriate to have a paragraph with just 2 sentences. You have to break them up somewhere. All right, if you see that you haven't put a full stop anywhere, like in the middle, and you've just put one once, then there's something wrong. This will create 100% a lack of coherence. It's just not going to make sense, and there's certainly going to be grammatical errors. So let's really look quickly at this first sentence in your paragraph. I'm going a little backwards. I apologize. I started with the second sentence, and now I'm going to the first. You don't mean any universal investments. You mean global. I remember having some problems with this sentence to begin with. So since they began, I didn't understand this. I don't know what uncalculated hope means. It doesn't really make sense to me as an expression. So these investments have given hope. But then you're saying as a result, people are losing control and not cooperating countries, and then there's a lack of development. This doesn't really make a lot of sense. You've got basically what you're saying here is you're saying A happened, and as a result of A, B happened, and as a result of B, C happened, and everything is all messed up. And then you have this, but you didn't really develop any of those. I think you should have really focused on these. So each time you said something, you said that there was all this hope, but then people lost control. Explain that. How do you have hope and then you lose control? That didn't really make sense to me. And then I don't understand who was not cooperating with the government bodies, the investments, the people. So it was a lot of confusion here. Okay, let's look at your conclusion. To recapitulate, I believe countries, government, countries, S apostrophe, governments with an S should take decisions which would positively impact the nation, create a sense of trust in the ruling bodies rather than losing their hope and optimism, singular. Okay, so I think I've been pretty detailed about the issues with this essay. There are some weak points that definitely do need to be fixed here. You should at this point know what they are. So why don't we take a look at the other essay you sent us. Okay, so we've got your letter. You're writing the newspaper. Fine. There's one thing that I want to tell you straight away. You absolutely have to write dear somebody. Dear editor, dear Mr. Smith, dear Ms. Jones, it doesn't matter. But you do absolutely have to write a salutation in the beginning. The script, when you get it, the prompt, it will tell you begin your letter dear ... So then you can fill it in however you want, but you absolutely must have it. Without it, you're definitely going to lose points. All right, so let's assume you wrote dear Ms. somebody. I'm writing this letter regarding the complaint raised by the famous news reporter of today's news channel, where he pointed out that the show called Crime Patrol is creating inevitable threat and negativity among youth. Let me explain in brief. Okay. Let's see. Inevitable threat doesn't really make a lot of sense, but here's my issue with this. What are you trying to say? What's the point of this? You said that why you're writing, that you're writing regarding the complaint. Yeah, but what do you want to say about the complaint? That you agree, that you disagree? Well, you want to say that you disagree, all right? So to say, let me explain in brief, isn't enough. Reading this, I don't know the purpose of your letter, okay? I know what it's in regard to in a way, but I don't know what the purpose is. Like, what's your point for writing this? So rather than let me explain in brief, you should have had something like, as I am an avid fan of this program, I felt it necessary to explain why your reporter was incorrect in his report. Okay, that would have made sense here. And this way you're explaining the reason why you're writing. Okay, I am Selena, a resident of Dubai and a regular viewer of Crime Patrol with real crime scenes where the channel casts, I don't understand that, the channel cast as a story, that's confusing, with lots of day-to-day challenges plus moral for all the spectators. Furthermore, it creates a long-lasting effect on youngsters' ability to deal with such unexpected incidents in their lives. All right, grammar, again, and punctuation is a problem here, Nazia. So, let's try it again. I am Selena, a resident of Dubai and a regular viewer of Crime Patrol. Full stop. This program shows real-time crime scenes where, I don't understand this, okay, where the viewer can see many day-to-day challenges, plus it provides a moral teaching for the spectators, or it has a moral message for its viewers. Okay, that makes sense. Furthermore, it creates a long-lasting effect on youngsters with an apostrophe, ability to deal with such unexpected incidents in their lives. Fine. According to the reporter, comma, these kinds of shows are responsible for the society, no, are responsible for society to get involved in more law-breaking and wrong activities by giving them the innovative ideas to commit them. However, he did not present any fact file for this claim, due to which I believe that is based on assumption rather than the facts. Okay. I'm getting the sense that you're trying to use a lot of formal language, but some of this is not as clean and as appropriate or natural as it could sound, okay? So, let me kind of put in a nutshell what I think you're trying to say here, okay? According to the reporter, shows like Crime Patrol essentially give viewers the impetus to commit crimes and show unlawful activities in a rather glamorous light. However, it is my assertion that this reporter is working solely on assumption and does not have any facts by which to base his claim. Okay, this is what I think what you're trying to say. I would like to request you to take some necessary actions against such news reporters and their teams involved in presenting baseless and wrong reports in the media. Yours faithfully. Okay. Okay. I felt like it kind of ended a little suddenly. I think it would have been nice. Maybe you could say that there is much to be gained from, what was it called? Crime Patrol. And viewers should know that it is an excellent program. Just something. I mean, it just kind of ended rather suddenly. Okay. All right. So, do we have more essays from you? I have to look at your package. I hope we do. All right. If we do, I'm really looking forward to them. If we don't, then I want to encourage you to sign up for more. I still think there's work to be done. You never wrote in your email when your exam is, but do let us know. Give us a little details about what's going on with your preparation and when you plan to take the IELTS. And let's see if we can get some more essays from you, okay? I'll be waiting for them, so good luck.